The ERP Boot Camp is a 3-day event that's intended to help participants understand ERP risks, challenges, and best practices. It's also designed to provide a forum to share best practices and to learn from a variety of independent ERP experts. So during this 3-day training session, we include experts from Panorama Consulting. We include other people from outside of Panorama Consulting that have quite a bit of ERP industry experience. And the third purpose of the boot camp is to help participants better understand what it will take to make their ERP project succeed. Now, some of the topics that we cover in boot camp include basic ERP training. That's one of the first things we cover in the first day of the session, and this is where we go through 20 different things that every executive sponsor and project manager needs to know about ERP and what to do to make their ERP implementation successful. We then dive into a little bit more detail from there to then start to talk a little bit about effective software selection and negotiations. So for those of you that have not yet selected your software vendor or are about to go through negotiations, we provide some best practices around how to find the right software and how to complete your negotiations and contract review with your software vendor. We then provide some best practices in project management. We also talk about incorporating organizational change management into your project plan. In organizational change management, in training, communications, that entire topic is a key part of day 2 of the session. In fact, most of day 2 is focused on organizational change. And it's really an eye-opening session that's designed to help you understand all the organizational change implications and activities that should go into an implementation project plan. Some of the other topics we cover include things like covering common implementation risks and pitfalls. So how to determine whether or not your project is in trouble or start to look for some of the early warning signs that you may be escalating the risk of your project. And then we also cover lessons learned from ERP failures and lawsuits. Now, this is just a partial list of some of the topics we cover. We do have a draft agenda that you can find on our website, which gives you a little bit more detail of what's covered in the 3 days. Some of the training techniques we use include your standard classroom discussion, which is a part of what we do during boot camp. But just as importantly, we also do expert panel discussions where we bring in a number of different experts each day to cover different topics based on that day's topics. And it's kind of a Q&A facilitated format to provide different perspectives from the industry on different topics that are covered throughout the boot camp. We also do quite a bit of group exercises. So we take some of the concepts we learn in boot camp and actually apply those to group exercises. And in many cases, we're using actual implementation project plans that participants bring to the session. And then finally, networking with peers. That's another technique that participants have found to be very helpful. Just being in a room of 25 or so different participants that are going through the same thing you are or about to go through the same things you are with their ERP initiatives can be a great learning experience for many boot camp participants. So some of the ideal candidates for the boot camp include CIOs, COOs, and IT directors. We certainly cover things at a strategic level from an ERP perspective, which is very relevant to CIOs and other C-level people. Implementation project managers will benefit as well because we, in addition to the strategic items that we cover, we also look at what needs to happen during an implementation project to make the project successful. And project core team members will benefit as well because they'll understand some of the activities that are required to make their effort successful. And ERP consultants will also benefit as well, particularly if you're a new ERP consultant and haven't been through many ERP implementation life cycles. And then finally, but not least importantly, international participants will benefit as well. The 2010 ERP Boot Camp featured participants from all over the world. So we invite those of you outside the United States to participate in the event as well. Now, participants from 2010 had an overwhelmingly positive response to the sessions that we provided. In fact, one of the themes we heard throughout our feedback and the formal feedback we received is that the value that's provided and given to people during the boot camp session far exceeds the cost of the sessions. And some of the comments include things like the content they received was invaluable. The sessions were very beneficial and gave a great overview of what to expect with upcoming challenges. And the final comment, I think, is of note, which is the best value for the money seminar I've ever attended. So as you can see, some of the comments here are very positive. In fact, when we look at the overall comments from the 25 participants in the 2010 boot camp, 100% of them were satisfied to very satisfied with the results of the event. So again, this ERP Boot Camp is open for registration. The event is March 9th through 11th in Denver, Colorado. We are offering an early bird discount where you can save $700 for your registration, and you can find out more on our website at www.panorama-consulting.com. And if you have further questions in addition to what you find on our website, please feel free to contact Michelle Palmieri, and you can see her contact information here, both her email and her direct dial here on the screen.